Well, greetings once again, my friends, my fellow modelers, and my fellow ocean liner lovers. Welcome to another video. I'd like to start off by saying that this is not the Queen Mary. This is the lovely RMS Titanic. This is the Agora model builds that we're doing, but I don't actually have a depiction of the Queen Mary yet. So we're using the Titanic for the intro. But I want to talk to you guys today about a book on the RMS Queen Mary that currently resides in California, in Long Beach. So what I want to show you is a book titled 50 Years, the 50-year history of the RMS Queen Mary. So sit back and relax, and we're going to take a look through the years of the RMS Queen Mary. So enjoy the video. Okay, so the book I want to show you guys today, it's titled RMS Queen Mary, 50 Years of Splendor. You can see a beautiful shot of her on the cover. And this is by David F. Hutchins. And I was really excited to get this in. Looking at the back of the book, you can see another beautiful picture of her. Kingfisher Railway Productions. You can see the ISBN number. And what's nice about this ship is she's still in existence. She's actually in Long Beach, California, and she's quite the attraction. So, I don't really know a lot about the Queen Mary. This is the model kit that I had shown you guys, but we're building her as the SS Poseidon. This is the official souvenir guide from the RMS Queen Mary, but that's a different video. I'll show you guys this one in the next video on this subject. So let's take a look at the book. It's got some amazing pictures in here. You can see a beautiful photo of her with the flags flying on the front, the inner cover. The RMS Queen Mary, 50 Years of Splendor. And this is from Kingfisher Railway Productions. And this is from June of 1986. And it's a dedication to my late Uncle William Way of Cowes, surveyor of lifeboats for the RNLI, and an early influence on my love of ships and shipbuilding. You can see a nice picture of her, the lifeboat with the davits. So I'm not going to go through this page for page and read it to you guys. I got points of interest, but I do want to read the introduction to you. Queen Mary was more than just one of the greatest ships ever built, carrying the rich and the famous between Southampton and New York at great speed. She was more than a prestigious mail-carrying symbol of the country and the company that brought her into being. She represented the nation's hope. When she was first designed and laid down, it represented a nation's disappointment when work on her ceased because of the Depression. She represented a new hope when she was finally completed and launched, the ultimate achievement in the technological age. She represented the embodiment of many dreams. Ever since her conception, she has captured the imagination. Ever since her disappearance from the waters of the North Atlantic, she has continued to represent in her later role at Long Beach, California, the popular ideal of an ocean liner. In the year that marks the 50th anniversary of her maiden voyage, this publication can only hope to celebrate in some small way the legend of the Queen Mary. Commodore Jeffrey Marr summed up the impact that not only the Queen Mary had, but her sister, the Queen Elizabeth, when he quoted, "The two queens undoubtedly will always remain the finest ships ever built. They're talking about tankers of 500,000 tons. But no tanker, no matter what its size, could ever convey the visual impact on these two magnificent ships, especially when it's seen at speed, flinging aside the North Atlantic in huge combers, a hull line, one of power and splendor, oceanic palace, magnificent proportions." Who could follow that? Well, I'll tell you, the SS United States would give her a run for the money, but again, that's a totally different video. But when we look at the contents of the book, you can see Chapter 1 is Lifting the Cloud. Chapter 2, A Dream Takes Form. Chapter 3, the Wonder Ship. Chapter 4, Behold a City on the Inconstant Billows. Chapter 5, You'll Never Get a Better Picture. Chapter 6, Perils and People. 7 is Mary in the Movies. 8 is the Queen Dowager. And 9, The Wonderful, Beautiful Toy. So, again, I had gone through for points of interest that I wanted to show you guys. There's just a wealth of amazing photographs in this book. This has actually presented a magnificent spectacle to passing commuters and sightseers alike. And that's, of course, when she's being built. When she was in dock. Again, these pictures are amazing. The launch took 100 seconds. And on the top, 2,350 tons of drag chain used to check the Queen Mary's speed once she was waterborne. You can see her fitting out. Immediately after launch, the Queen Mary was carefully edged alongside her fitting out berth. The wetness of the day can be judged from the jetty planking, the tug Palladian to its right, courtesy of University of Liverpool. Again, some beautiful photographs. The build. And again, I'm going to go through and look for real points of interest. This is really cool. You can see how the size of the ship. One of the enormous castings that had to be removed from Darlington to Middleborough before being shipped to the Clyde. The casting took the width of 3 railways, and the railway had to be closed for the weekend. It's just amazing. And look at the size of the propeller. One of Queen Mary's 4 propellers, each one was 20 feet in diameter and weighed 35 tons. 10 tons heavier than the previous largest that were fitted to the Empress of Britain. You can see the lifeboats under construction and the bracket that would take the propeller shaft constituted part of one of the strongest sections of the hull. And this is from 1949. We get some more amazing pictures of her being fitted out. Just absolutely beautiful. And the storylines, because I'm working on a video of the history of the Queen Mary, but I didn't really know a lot about her. So I love learning about new ships. Let's take a look at her interior. Look at that. Splendid view of the cabin class lounge. The observation bar and cocktail bar. And on the bottom, we've got the cabin class main restaurant. Absolutely beautiful. This is a bedroom in the cabin class. And on the bottom, we've got an artist's impression of a tourist bedroom. We've got the shops on board the Queen Mary. And this shows the finishing touch. 2.5 feet high letters of the ship's name are secured and painted, whilst the shear line is lined carefully prior to the hull being painted black. Beautiful. We got some more photographs. This book is a treasure trove of pictures. Really amazing. And I've learned a lot about, like I said, I knew nothing about the ship. But she is a beauty. Of course, she was renamed the SS Poseidon from the 1972 feature film, The Poseidon Adventures, from Irwin Allen. And they actually shot parts of the movie aboard ship. While a little clearance on either side, the Mary is gently eased into dry dock. She's a pretty big girl. Look at that beautiful picture. This is on April 8th. Queen Mary docked in the ocean dock, joining the four-funnel Cunard liner Aquitania. They're both beautiful pictures, and this is her waiting for her trials. Of course, the Aquitania is gorgeous, and that's a totally different video. This one is a good picture to show you the hull of the side of the ship. The Queen alongside the ocean dock, complete with personalized gangways. And you can see her funnels. The Mary pulls away from quayside to commence her maiden voyage. And I love when they dress the ships out with their flags. And this is from May 27th of 1936. Let's see, this looks like her entering into New York. Is that, yes. June 1st of 1936, the Mary makes her triumphant entry into New York. Fog had delayed her. Welcome was magnificent. Mary is welcomed to her American home at Pier 90 in New York. And this is a view of the New York from the Queen's crow's nest after her maiden voyage. And then we get into some more recent color pictures. Typical photograph of the Queen Mary at the Ocean Terminal, and this is in Southampton. Look at that beautiful picture of her at night. And again, I love when she's dressed out in her flags. This is her on October 31st, Halloween, leaving Southampton. Obscured by smoke, Captain Bissett threatened to do something down the tug's funnels when they made too much smoke. The Mary arrives in Sydney Harbor. You can see a nice picture as the Queen approached waters that were haunted by U-boats. An anti-aircraft cruiser and anti-submarine destroyers would meet her escort and escort her to safety, if they could keep up with her, that is. Of course, she was requisitioned. An impressive view of the Queen Mary at anchor in Clyde. Her troops were disembarked into pleasure steamers for transference to shore bases. Just an amazing history that goes with this ship. Let's see. This is the HMS Curacoa. Let's see, the later to be sent to the bottom of the sea after a tragic collision with the Queen Mary. You can see the damage that happened to the Queen Mary's bow. The Queen Mary dry docked in Boston, Massachusetts for emergency repairs to the damage caused by her collision with the RMS Queen. Look at that spectacular picture. The main restaurant, the main hall. She could accommodate 800 diners or 2,000 troops in one sitting. So this book is just like one of the ultimate picture books so far. And look at that picture. October 2nd of 1942. An incident occurred that remained a secret until the end of World War II. One of the best paintings of the Queen Mary rammed and sinking the HMS Queen. A rare color photograph of the Queen Mary in her wartime livery of gray, leaving New York in the early years of the war. And this is on her way to Sydney. Look at all the troops. Life jackets were to be worn at all times during a calm summer crossing. Troops could get some fresh air on the upper decks. Look at that. This is alongside the quay of the Ocean Dock, Southampton. This is December 27th of 1945. An impressive view showing the splendor of the liner at speed. The Mary had her funnels repainted in Cunard colors, but still retains her degaussing belt, excuse me. The beauty of the steam on land at sea, and combined with the splendid study taken from the docks in Southampton, this is April of 1946. You can see her in the background. September 29th from 1946, arriving in Southampton. This is prior to being renovated for peacetime work. The photograph, this is from April 5th of 1947, after her making up of the war. The strips were removed, and each of her every square foot of her was repainted. And this is Friday, July 26th of 1947, as she arrives in the Solent after a short trial cruise. And this is closed with the brochure advertisement. Beautiful. And we got a view of her bridge. The eyes and feet of the liner with the bridge and the engine room, linked by the telegraph signals. You can see the bridge and the engine room. Shipboard study of Commodore Geoffrey Thrippleton, excuse me. Geoffrey Thrippleton Marr, a one-time officer and later captain of the Queen Mary. And this one shows the damaged keel plate of the Mary after grounding on a table-sized Selene bank in Cherbourg Harbor. Looks like we have some more. Let's see. This is a group photograph of the staff in the hospital on board. This is the special occasion of the retirement of Captain Donald Sorrell, is flanked on his left by and right by Arthur Beebe and Dr. McKay. And this is the farewell of Captain Sorrell. Some crew members line up for a scrapboard photograph. Now this one is interesting because it talks about the Queen Mary in the movies. And this is Phil Silvers, alias the notorious Sergeant Bilko, traveled on both Queens. This is Richard Burton, Gracie Fields and Rosemary Squires, Elizabeth Taylor and her parents. This is Gloria Swanson, Joyce Greenfeld, Charlton Heston, and Alec Guinness. This is Liberace and Nancy Sinatra. Then don't forget, she was also in the Poseidon Adventure with Ernest Borgnine, Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters, and there's just a great all-star cast for that as well. But of course, that was after her retirement. The Mary, on one of her departures from Southampton, waved goodbye by hundreds of well-wishers, and this is approaching the skyline of New York. And again, I'm just kind of flying through the book, but for the most part, I wanted to show you the amazing photographs of her in here. Look at that picture. The last arrival of the RMS Queen Mary is Southampton. This is September 19th of 1967. And who is that on the side of her? The Oriana. That looks like a beautiful ship as well. A wonderful, beautiful toy. On the day before sailing for Long Beach, 2 London buses were embarked. Their advertised destination is, let's see if I pronounce that right, Walthamstow. Busy tugs take the strain as the Mary is eased into the stream of Southampton water. Surrounded by craft bidding her farewell and her 300-foot pennant Billowing out from the main mast, Queen Mary passes Hinth on her way to Lisbon, her first port of call. This is Captain John Treasure Jones with his wife behind him. Hands over the ship's flag, the brief ceremony on the quayside at Long Beach. This is from December 9th of 1967. The Mary, a few days after the arrival, awaiting her complete renovation. Part of the badly rusted funnels are lifted ashore. Cufflinks made from the chips of the paint were produced and then showed in strata. From the career of the Queen, right? She docked Long Beach after her delivery voyage from Southampton. The Queen has the bottom cleaned and the propellers removed at the start of her lengthy renovation. Rolls-Royce transport passengers who were in a maiden voyage of the Queen Mary to the QE2 on May 3rd of 1986. And then we go into the acknowledgments. But look at the picture. A fitting end piece. The two queens meet in the new docks of Southampton. This was after the war. And then you can see the spirit of the age. The wonders of the Queen Mary, Cunard, White Star. Of course, they had merged in the early 1930s, the White Star Line and Cunard. The massive form of Britain's finest shipping achievement is in itself a symbol of age. The result of all the modern marvels, scientific research, industry, and art. The immensity and dignity, steadiness and stability, beauty and design, the wonderful artistic conception of decoration, unprecedented luxury and comfort, qualities which do not aim at mere effect, but which combine to fulfill the purpose and service of the world's greatest liner. For further details, apply to the Cunard White Star office or agency. This is a symbolic plaque in aluminum to Maurice Lambert on one of the striking decorative features of the Queen Mary. So this old girl has quite the illustrious past, and she's still around, and she's still beautiful. Matter of fact, I think as of this video, she was just upgraded and repaired. And this is something that, and I know this is going to be a different video, but I would have loved to have seen for the SS United States. The SS United States is actually, she's going to be prepared, cleaned up, sailed off to Okaloosa, Florida, where she's going to be sunk and made into the world's artificial reef. But I was always hoping that she would find her home, kind of like the Queen Mary did. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this quick little book. I know there was a lot to just go through, but I wanted to show you most of the pictures because the pictures were just really, really wonderful. And I'm still learning about this magnificent ship. And the next video that I do on the Queen Mary is we're going to take a look at the official souvenir guide. So this will be really fun. I'm looking forward to showing you guys that. So my friends, thank you so much for watching. And until the next video on this lovely lady, I'll talk to you soon.